SCP-096. Object Class: Euclid. SCP-096 measures roughly 2.5 meters in height, with barely any muscle mass or body hair. Its limbs are completely out of proportion to its body, each arm measuring at a length of 1.5 meters. The activity of SCP-096 is far from normal, spending most of its days pacing the eastern wall of its cell. The only real issue reveals itself when somebody sees its face. From this point onwards, SCP-096 will become severely emotionally distressed, covering its face with its sickly, twisted arms whilst crying, screaming, and even babbling. It will then take it upon itself to seek out whomever was to view its face, attempting to charge towards them at speeds of 35 kilometers per hour and even higher, though the speed typically depends on the distance between the viewer and the SCP. Scarily enough, the location of the viewer does not seem to change the behavior of SCP-096, as it will have a constant, yet logically impossible sense of where the victim is at all times. Whenever 096 actually reaches the person, it will proceed to kill them, and somehow leave no traces of the victim's biological matter. SCP-096 is contained in an airtight steel cube at all times. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. Because of the nature of the SCP, only 2 cloaked video surveillance tools are used inside its cell. For safer research and security, personnel use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure its presence inside the cell. AU audio log was recovered from an interview between Dr. and Captain detailing Zulu 9's first incident with SCP-096.
Now playing AU audio log 1557.
It always sucks ass to get the initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of besides what jacked up information the field techies can scrape up, and you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag, didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing.
Could you describe your mission, please?
We had 2 choppers, one with my team and one on backup with Zulu 9B and Dr. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction, else he would have taken us out then and there.
Your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was minus C.
Actually, it was negative. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal got ready to bag it. That's when Doctor called. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned, and my whole squad saw it.
That's when SCP-096 entered an agitated emotional state?
Yeah, well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it.
Could you describe it a little more, please?
Yeah, it started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring, sounded exactly like a person. Really creepy. We started firing and it picked up Corporal and ripped off his leg. We were blowing chunks out of the target, round after round. Didn't do jack shit.
And that's when you ordered the use of an 84 HEDT launcher?
An anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since we had some of the SCPS get loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper.
There was significant damage to SCP-096?
It didn't even flinch. It kept tearing apart my squad, but with half of its torso gone.
But it was taking damage.
If it was, it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all its organs, all of its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all.
So, no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096?
At the least, 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GA-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 fucking seconds. That's 650 caliber rounds pumped into that thing. My might as well have been spitting at it.
And this is when Zulu 9B arrived?
Zulu 9B managed to get a bag over its head and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it here.
We have obtained an artist's depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it?
You know, after hearing that thing's screams and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face on what I heard.
Alright, I believe we're done here. Thank you, Captain. Captain is confirmed to have left interview room 22, subject slightly distressed. I hereby request SCP-096 be terminated as soon as possible. This is Dr. Audio log, date January 5th, 1992.
End of recording.